All right, we're back. Scam Podcast, episode 37, 36, something like that. I'm Josh. That's Malcolm. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at scam_podcast. Follow us on Twitch, scam_podcast. And how you feeling, Malcolm? How things going?
Good. Feeling great. Fantastic.
Yeah? Doesn't sound it.
Good. Even keel.
You sure about that?
Yeah.
Sound pretty relaxed.
Feel like I want to go grocery shopping.
Yeah? That's right. You're in the danger zone out there. So if you don't know, there was a mass shooting in Boulder, Colorado, where Malcolm lives last week. I texted him like, "Hey, you didn't get shot, did you?" And he said, "Unfortunately, not."
Should we bring up the what's considered a mass shooting?
Yeah, go ahead. I think it's 10 people, right?
I think 8 to 10.
Yeah, seems right.
Because if somebody goes in and kills a whole family, like that'd be considered a mass shooting right now. But it's just one family.
Still a tragedy.
I'm saying it's not.
But is it a mass tragedy? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What was my example? Like, if like a house fire burns like 2 houses and kills both families, it's not a mass fire.
It's true.
2 house fires.
It's 2 house fires.
Or is it just that it's public? That it's randomized? Is that what makes it mass?
I don't know. What's interesting is like, it seems like, yeah, it's when you, like you said, randomized. That's where people get like, it could happen to me. When it's targeted, it's not really a mass.
What happened in the good old
shooting.
days where people would hunt them down for weeks? Couldn't catch them for years. I mean, those dudes were putting up real numbers.
Those days are gone, my friend. The good old days.
I mean, that dude Richard, whatever, what was like
Ramirez, yeah,
13 or something. You ever heard of the Green River Killer?
Oh yeah, but that guy,
triple digits, bud.
Yeah, but that guy, they proved Henry Lee Lucas. They proved later that he just admitted to everything. They would bring him in a case and he'd be like, "Yeah, I did that," because he was already doing 100 years. You know what I mean? So he's like, "Yeah, that was me. Might as well just go big."
I used to have this encyclopedia of serial killers, and there was this dude in Colombia. I mean, 300 like young girls. It was crazy.
Yeah, yeah. That's what they talk about, like Ted Bundy, but he only had a couple, like 8 people.
My ex-girlfriend used to live on
rookie
the
numbers
rape trail at FSU.
Yeah. There's also the guy. They have that statue on campus at Florida. I forget his name, but he was like the guy that would break in their screen doors. He killed a bunch of people. The Gainesville Ripper.
Yep. It's all these kids. They want, everything's got to be instantaneous now.
Well, this dude wasn't a kid. This dude was like a 40-year-old man, and he looked rough.
That BTK killer, he was like 20 women, dude, over 30 years.
Yeah, and he got caught over a floppy disk.
We just ain't got that kind of dedication anymore.
Yeah. The BTK one's interesting. Maybe we'll do a whole episode on serial killers.
That guy was creepy as fuck.
Yeah. The stuff he did. He took a picture of that chick like dressed up as a pig. That was weird.
When he's in court just describing each one, like, so I tied her up and I started choking her out, and like, oh dude. He was code enforcement too.
Yeah. The BTK stands for bound.
Guy's telling you to cut your grass, he's chopping people up in his basement. It's like, geez.
Well, his story is interesting because the way he got caught was he was
at a church.
He was in a church using a church computer interacting with the FBI, and they're like, "If you put it on this, we can't track you." And he's like, "Oh, all right." And he put it on a floppy disk, and they're like, "We instantly tracked him to this church."
Exactly.
So, and he was like a family man. He had a wife and kids. Everybody loved him, except for the people he murdered and tortured. So they loved him.
Dude, they even like went to his house and asked him about one of them because he killed his neighbor. He was like, "No, I don't know." Never got caught.
Yeah, it's there's that show Mindhunter on Netflix. It got canceled. It had 2 seasons, but the underlying story in the show, like every now and then there'd be a beginning of an episode, and it'd be about BTK, and it'd be him like killing someone or like his life, like what was going on, and the whole thing was there was going to be a payoff where they catch BTK, but the show got canceled. what's up? It never happened.
Did you see how everybody was like, "Oh, this fucking white guy killing all these people at King Supers," and then his name's like, super Muslim.
Yeah, I mean that doesn't mean much,
bro. His family's Syrian immigrants. Why do you think he's killing all these people, dude? Probably because they're bombing the shit out of his country.
Maybe. That's the outlier nowadays, unfortunately. Most of the time, it is some fucking lonely white guy who didn't get enough attention, making us look bad.
Yeah,
all us whites.
Well, that Onion, bro, they be posting some shit on there, dog.
Yeah.
One of the headlines was like, "Cops not going to pursue mass shooting suspect because they don't want to give him any more attention." Some shit like that.
Oh, all right. Man. Well, enough about tragedy. We got a pretty packed episode. We didn't do an episode last week, so we got a lot to go over. So first, let's do this. So I have some emails, but I decided we're going to save them because I want to do a live episode either this week or next week. We'll keep you updated on the exact day. But it's just going to be about these sex stories because I have about 6 of them that we got emails for in the past couple of weeks, and I want to just dive deep head first into those. So we'll save that for a special episode. But we had a lot happen. So I wrote them down. We'll run through these pretty quickly. First one, Drew Brees retires.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, Drew Brees retired last week. So where do you think he stands in greatest quarterback of all time conversation? He has the numbers.
He's definitely got the numbers for sure.
But he never really, I don't know. I've heard this said in baseball a lot where it's like, you can tell how good a guy is by like when he comes up to bat, how scared you are if you're a fan of the other team. Like when Barry Bonds came up to the plate, you were terrified he was going to hit a home run. When David Ortiz came up to the plate, you were terrified he was going to hit a home run, right? And then there's the guys that just have like the stats, like you don't realize how good the player is. Drew Brees is kind of in that category. Once he compiled so many stats, it became, people became to notice.
And he always had like more. An explosive offense,
of course, and that's Sean Payton. Yeah. So
I mean, I'd give him top 5.
That's what I was going to say. I have trouble putting him ahead of obviously a guy like Brady. I think Manning is still ahead of Drew Brees, even though he had less touchdowns.
2 rings.
Yeah, even though that second ring is questionable. But I still put Manning ahead. I think Dan Marino and Brees are right there. Who you want to pick? So it doesn't really matter because
Brees is definitely ahead of Marino.
You think so?
For sure.
I think the 1 ring thing. I don't know. I think rings in football are a little overrated.
If you never got it done, you never got it done.
That's true. That's true. Very true.
And
Brees did have a sustained run of success where they were winning the division or they were in the playoffs every year. Marino had a few years where their teams were dog shit.
Yeah, so. I mean, I wasn't, alive when he was playing most of the time. I mean, I was for a little bit of it, but not enough to care.
Young kid, yeah.
I mean, Dan Marino for me is Ace Ventura. You know what I'm
saying? What were those stupid gloves called? Oh my God. Where he's doing the commercial and he keeps getting pissed off. Oh my God, I forget now. But isotoners? That sounds right. But he's doing the commercial and then he gets kidnapped. My favorite part of that movie is when he reveals that what's her name, Einhorn's a man, and everybody in the scene throws up because they've all like slept with her.
Jesus Christ!
Why would they cancel that?
You got it all tucked in between
trans rights.
Shit. It's funny as a kid, you're just watching like this is hilarious. You're like, yeah, it's a chick or a girl, whatever, dude. It's like this movie's wild.
Yeah, looking back.
Yeah,
he was an NFL kicker that missed a kick because Dan Marino held the ball wrong and then completely decided to turn into a woman just to avenge Dan Marino, just to get revenge on Dan Marino.
Yeah. Fucking A.
Laces were out, Marino.
Finkel's Einhorn. Einhorn's Finkel.
They play that Boy George music and he's just taking the shower. He's eating all the gum.
Yeah. Transphobe.
He just brushes his tooth with brushes his teeth with a huge toothbrush. Oh man, no, he's using the plunger. He's using the plunger and throwing up in the toilet. Yeah,
yeah,
good one. He burns his clothes. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. So like I said, yeah, top 5 sounds right. Maybe put him in that 3 to 4 category. What about Favre? Do you think Favre's ahead of Brees?
I used to not like Favre for a while. And then, like, my football coach in high school, he played in the NFL, and he was like, He's like, it's not that he's that good. He's just out there every game.
Yeah.
He's like after a game, he's like, and this guy was 6'10", 400 pounds. And he's like, you feel like you got hit by a bus. He goes, when the play snaps, he's like, the ground shakes. He's like, it's crazy. Yeah. But then we find out, he's fucking eating Vicodin constantly.
Yeah.
My coach said he when you used back in the day when he was playing, you go in the locker room, dude, it was just a big bowl of Vicodin.
Yeah.
You just grab a handful.
Yeah. They needed it too. They didn't have these ice bath. I mean, that's the extent of it. They had ice baths, but they didn't have these what they call cryogenic chambers where for recovery. They didn't have the medication for recovery. They didn't have, post-workout stuff. Yeah, none of that stuff was around. It was basically like, oh, you're hurting? Well, you're not allowed to smoke weed, so you can either drink or you can take these pills or both. So how about
it? Exactly.
Yeah, so I don't know. I put him maybe top 4 then. Let's say that top 4 for Brees. On to the next thing, UFC 260 this weekend. Pretty exciting. Almost, I think only one fight went to a decision.
Great card.
Yeah, the girl fight went to a decision. That was the only one. The rest were finishes.
I must have missed that one. That must have been the first one.
It might have been the first one. I don't really. Oh no, it was the second one. The first one was only 40 seconds. I forget the guy's name, but he knocked out a guy, Karma Worthy. Just caught him, just put him to sleep. And then the next one was the decision, the girl fight. And then the third one was Sugar Sean O'Malley.
He destroyed that.
That was brutal. Yeah, so the controversy there was in the first round, he dropped him. And the guy fell back into
It's always like, it goes silent and you're always like, should we be watching this?
So he hit him and he fell into the cage, right? And he had his hands up, but he was out of it. And Sean O'Malley walked away thinking the fight was over. They didn't stop it. The guy was able to,
the ref.
Yeah, and the guy was able to roll over and get away. So then it went to the next round, and he hit him again and dropped him. He did the same thing. He's like, yo, this guy's done. And the ref was like, keep fighting. And while the guy's laying there, he jumped in the air and punched him. And the guy didn't even put his hands up. He didn't even see it coming. And it was completely out. He was out where his head was sideways and his arms were kind of like doing the punchy motion, like he didn't know what was going on. Yeah, I agree. They probably should have stopped it. You got to blame the ref on that to protect the guy. I mean,
for both scenarios, they should have stopped it before. And then because they didn't stop it before, this dude got laid out.
Yeah. Again, thanks. Yeah, I'm sure he's real happy that you didn't stop it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Dude's going to have a brain damage when he's 36 because.
And then the Tyrone Woodley, man. Fuck, man. I feel bad for that guy.
So the next one was Luque and Tyrone Woodley. I can never pronounce that guy's first name, Luque. Good fight from Woodley. Hadn't seen that from him in a while.
Bombs.
Yeah, just came out.
It was looking like it hurt.
Yeah.
And then he got clipped and just fucking.
He was all over the place. He was stanky legging it all over the building.
That YouTube video where that guy's trying to get the beer out of the fridge. Yeah. And he's like holding on to it. He looked like that, dude.
There was one moment, right, where he was falling all over the place, right? And he had him against cage and he was hitting him and they kind of had like a scramble and Woodley got away. And I'm like, all right, he's back to his feet. Nope. He went straight back down, just kind of rubber legged it to the other side of the octagon right into the fence. God. And then he end up getting tapped out. But it sucks for a guy like him. He's lost 3 in a row now. Former champion. Really high-level competition. The guys he's losing to are really good. And he looked good in this fight. So it's going to be tough. It'll be interesting to see if he fights again. Guy's made a ton of money. I'm sure he'd be comfortable if he retired. But tough to see because the way he came out, I was like, all right, we're seeing the old Tyrone Woodley here. And then, he got caught with some. It's so crazy because just a few years ago, this was the guy that people are like, this guy's unbeatable. He has power. He can wrestle, cardio. He has it all. And his last 3 fights, he's been 4 fights, actually. He lost to Usman, Gilbert Burns, Colby Covington, and now Luque.
Usman wasn't even close either. He got whooped.
No, just dominated. Covington whooped him too. Gilbert Burns' fight was a little back and forth, but he got dominated in that one too. So we'll see what happens to Tyrone Woodley. But then the main event. Or am I missing one? Were there 2? Was there another fight?
It was Woodley and then.
Yeah.
No, you're right. It's Woodley and then main event.
The main event. All right. Stipe and Francis. Kind of what we predicted. I thought it was gonna be worse than it was. It was still pretty fucking bad.
I thought it was pretty on point.
Yeah.
I mean, it was scary when he was just not throwing haymakers, just like he was just waiting for the opening, and he got it, and he fucking dominated.
So you know what, like where the fight was over was when there was that Stipe went for the takedown in the first round, and Francis did that like high level move, stepped over him.
Oh no, he's gonna get taken down. Fuck.
Yeah.
And then he fucking did not get taken down, which is impressive.
He did that, the high level, like pull his leg, sidestep, and then start punching up, like up, punching up or whatever.
And those shots over the back were fucking gnarly too.
Yes. You could see his Stipe's side of his head was already swollen. And then he got caught with a few in the first round. Then it was like, all right, he survived. This is what happened in the first fight. He looked rough in the first round, and then Stipe just survived.
That slow motion of Stipe, like thinking he's got it, and then just wham.
So what happened was he got caught with one, gets knocked down, gets up, comes back around, and he's dodging punches. And then Francis was wide open. He dropped his hands. He left an opening. And Stipe, the heavyweight champion, who knocks guys out all the time, was like, here's my shot, steps in and lands a good punch on Francis. The problem was Stipe was already compromised. His legs are already out from under him. Yeah. If this was the first punch he threw in the fight or the first round of the fight, maybe he knocks Francis out. But what happened was he hit him. It stunned Francis just ever so slightly.
It startled him.
He took a step back. And then Stipe was like, here's my moment. And then he went for another one. And Francis just hit him with the left hook. And that was all she wrote. Bent back, leg bent back. And then Francis came over the top.
The fold back was the worst part of it. Just
slow motion, too. The leg went back and he just went like this, straight back, staring at the ceiling. And then here comes Francis again, just like Sean O'Malley over the top, lands one more for good measure. Tough scene for Stipe. Don't know if I'm sure he'll want to fight again. It'll be interesting to see if he ever does fight again. I mean, he deserves he's had the belt for so long, and he deserves a rematch with Francis, but that's not going to happen.
So who you got? You got Francis or Jones?
That's what I'm saying. They want the Francis versus Jon Jones. That's the fight they want. I don't know if that's going to happen because Jon Jones says he wants McGregor money, and the UFC's kind of like
complains too much. I don't think it's going to happen. But who you got?
I mean Francis.
I got
too fucking big, dude.
Even if Jon Jones gets big, it's just like naturally that's how big Francis is.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
He has to cut weight to make the weight limit for heavyweight. Yeah.
And not to
it's
say
all muscle.
It's just I think Jon Jones is gonna have a little bit of a time adjusting to that frame.
Well, I already watched some things about it, and they talked about how yes, he's bigger and stronger, but he's also looking a little slower. That's just something that happens when you put that weight on, and part of his, biggest weapon was that quickness at his size. He's big, he's long, he has long legs, long arms. He can catch you, with power, and he's a great wrestler. But the thing is, man, Francis is so fucking big. I mean,
the thing is, if Jones could get him on the ground, then he'd be in trouble. He'd be in real trouble.
For sure. But we saw what Stipe's much bigger than Jones, and he didn't. And he's a good wrestler. Didn't have a shot. The only thing that would worry me for Francis with something like Jones is he's such a high level striker. He might be able to pull one of those like kicks where it looks like it's coming from one direction and then he changes it. You know what I mean? Like where you go to block the body and then you get caught in the head. And I don't think Francis has ever been hit with something like that. But I mean, if Francis lands a punch, I think it's over.
The thing is, can Jones still do that with the same speed?
Correct.
Big.
And his last two fights, he struggled against Dominic Reyes and Thiago Santos. And Santos blew his ACL out during the fight and still competed for 5 rounds. So, I mean,
he didn't handily win the Reyes fight. I mean, he skated by. He was the champ, so it was like, all right.
And that's the thing. Is it that Jones has lost a step, or is it the level of competition has gone up? You don't really know. But I don't know. He's getting older. And that's the thing. Like I said, it's the same thing as it was with Stipe.
Him and Ngannou are the same age too, right?
I think Ngannou might be older.
I think he's like 34 and 33.
Something like that, yeah. But the thing is, with any fight with Francis, man, you get caught with one, it's over, dude. It's just over. The dude, he has nuclear bombs. Like,
I didn't know he had the world record for the hardest punch ever.
They said it's the equivalent of getting hit by a Ford Escort at full speed. What?
Yeah.
So I don't know. And like I said, I don't know if anybody can take that punch. And it'll be interesting to see I mean, the dude just hit so fucking hard. We saw. I mean, the punch that knocked Stipe out wasn't even flush. It was kind of like a check left hook that just caught him in the right spot.
Yeah, he didn't load it up.
No, he did exactly. He didn't load it up at all. So,
not only that, I think he got the championship spirit. You know, I think he could stay focused being the champ.
Yeah, correct. And I think he took that loss personally, and we saw how hard he worked to get back to where he is. And Derek Lewis beat him already, so that'll be an interesting fight when they fight again. Because Derek Lewis has bombs too. It's like who's going to land first?
I still think dudes throwing haymakers.
I still think Francis wins that fight, like in a rematch. So he seemed a little timid in the last fight because he had just lost to Stipe. You know, he was worried about getting taken.
I never count Derek Lewis out. He could land one and
true for sure.
Cripple you.
And he's fun. That'd be a very fun fight. So I'd rather see Jones, but if not, Derek Lewis and Francis would be a good fight. All right. Speaking of UFC, me and a buddy of ours will be in attendance at UFC 261 here in Jacksonville. First sporting event with fans. It's coming in a few weeks. Very excited about that.
You got your vaccine passport to get in the building?
It looks like DeSantis is saying nay on that one. So
I'm all about DeSantis, bro. This guy is fucking.
I don't like
him. Fuck you. Well,
that's the thing. Like that part's cool. It's cool that he's like keeping you know the little freedoms that you do have available to the citizens of Florida. He's also just a terrible governor. He's just not very good at his job when it comes to anything else. So he just doesn't get shit done, which is he's using this platform. That's why he's doing all this, because he knows people want that, and he's giving it to people. He's like, look how great I am, you know? And then it's like, well, what about...
It's working out in his favor.
It is. You know? Yeah, people are happy about it, but...
the cases are staying the same, and he's kind of coming out on top.
Yeah, that's what, like I said, that's what sucks, because he's just not very good. We've had problems in this state ever since he came in the office. Dude, I say, he just doesn't get anything done. Nothing gets done.
This guy, Matt Gaetz, bro, his... I don't know if he's like campaigning or if he's up for the midterms. He must be, but he's clearly pulling that Florida man. Like that's gonna be his campaign slogan. I seen him in another thing on Twitter, dude. He goes, "Watch it, I'm a marked man." He goes, "I'm another man." He goes, "Well, here in Florida, I'm a Florida man, man."
That gets people going, man.
He said he wants to be the fucking AOC of the right, which he's getting there.
Speaking of, you said Matt Gaetz, right?
Yeah.
Speaking of something else,
he's so Florida. I like him just for that because he's prim and proper. Got the Cuban kid. He's just like total Florida.
See how that goes. But that reminded me of something from kicker Matt Gay, kicker for the Rams. Right? He posted this on Twitter last week. Right? It's a DM on Instagram from somebody, and this is what it says. All right, so stay with me here. It says, "You fucking bum." This is from Dre. That's the Instagram account. "You fucking bum. I hope you die. Hope the Rams cut you. I hope the Rams cut you too. Them Madden nights to boost you kicking because it ain't cutting it. Fuck off." And then the next
kicker?
That's to a kicker, right? But then here's the next message from that gentleman. It says, "Yo, your wife's bad as hell though." And then Matt Gay posted it on there and said, "He ain't wrong about my wife."
So man, let me read you this thing that came up on Twitter. I guess this is between. I'm guessing it's not Ian Rappaport. I'm guessing it's Micheal Rappaport.
Oh yeah.
And I guess we're going at it or something. I don't know. He posted this text thread. I guess this is from Kevin Durant to Micheal Rappaport.
Throw that on the screen. I want to see that.
Here, you can read it honestly if you want.
No, go ahead. Oh my God.
Go ahead, read it.
All right. You called your lawyer like the pussy you are. Who's sending this? This is to
Kevin Durant to Rappaport.
Okay. You called your lawyer like the pussy you are. Ha 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 ha. You couldn't talk. You couldn't take.
Portnoy
I'm assuming it's supposed to say you couldn't take Portnoy talking shit. Defamation of character. Bunch of crying faces. Pussy ass. Want to lawyer up. Your wife mad as fuck because you wasting a little bit of money on a lawyer's because you can't take a joke. How pussy are you? Your wife doesn't even respect your bitch ass.
Yikes.
Pretty
Pretty crazy coming from Kevin Durant.
Yeah. I mean, he's
I know he's kind of sensitive too, but
he is, but he'll yeah, exactly. He'll speak his mind on like social media, but you come at him, he gets real upset. So like some Kevin Durant. I like that though. There's a funny one of him. It's like from like when he was in college that he tweeted, and it was like, "Yo, at Scarlett Johansson, I'll drink your bathwater."
hey, I'm right there with him, bud.
Hey, shoot your shot, pal. Speaking of cool things, I got a video I want to share with you, and you tell me it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool video. That's why that's our cool video of the week. How about that? You ready for this? This is someone on Twitch posting just doing some cool stuff on Twitch.
Yeah, I can literally queef on command. You guys want to hear this shit?
Jeez.
You want to hear this shit? Hold up. Let me just put the microphone right here. Did you guys hear it going into my vagina? Now let me push the air out.
Oh.
Did you guys hear the air going in? And then going out.
Pretty cool stuff, huh?
That's fucking crazy.
I don't know.
Like she'd stop and just show anybody that. Hey, check this out.
Go to people on the street. The worst case scenario is she's like on a cruise or something. And like, anybody here have a hidden talent?
Wonder how she blows out her birthday candles.
Gonna set the house on fire. Jesus Christ.
That out.
Yeah, bro, how do you I can do it on command. Oh
Jesus.
boy. A couple other things in here I wrote down. I told you I write things down all the time for the podcast, and I have no idea what they mean. Are diabetes racist? No clue what that means. I think I might have saw an article or something about it and just totally forgot to tag it. But keep that on the back burner. Here's a good one.
Well,
so is that
I got diabetes?
It's so funny because anytime I see him in a movie, like an older movie, that's all I think of is him in the diabetes commercials. So I was in PetSmart the other day. I was buying dog food, and this guy in front of me, right? He's overweight. We'll say that. He's a little overweight, right? He's standing there. He's got his cart.
He needs a vaccine,
and not the COVID one. He needs something. So he's standing there, and I look at I'm behind him in line, and I look. He has so much cat food in his cart. I mean, an impossible amount of cat food, like $1,000 worth of cat food. So I'm thinking, like, I really hope this guy works at a pet store and is reselling this, or a shelter, something. Please God, you know. And then the lady mentions at the register, like, oh, it's a lot of cat food. And he's like, yeah, you can never be too safe. You know, you always have to have extra. She's like, how many cats do you have? And he goes, 14.
Jesus.
14 cats. So you've heard of like the old cat lady. This is the old cat man. And he looks, not to, be too presumptuous or whatever, but he looks like he doesn't have a girlfriend. And he looks like exactly what you would expect a guy with 14 cats to look like. So I just don't get how that happens in your life. Like, I can understand like having pets. I have 2 dogs.
All of that has got to be terrible. I hate cats.
For real. And I have 2 dogs, I get having pets. I couldn't imagine having 14 fucking dogs. You know what I mean? Like,
cats are they're nasty, dude. They shit in the house. Yeah.
They shed like crazy.
Let me tell you about something that happened to me yesterday.
Okay.
So I'm at the gym. I do squats, right? This guy wants to use the rack. Okay. I'm like, oh shit, I want to do deadlifts. So it's these platforms, like in high school, they had like the platforms where like it was like a squat rack and then you could power clean and shit on it too.
Yeah.
So it's like
is it like is it the machine or is it free weights?
It's all free weights.
Okay.
So I get the deadlift ready, blah, blah. And like where this platform is, there's like a little walkway, probably like 2 feet.
Mm-hmm.
And like on the other side is like machines. So somebody's like doing chest press, like facing the platform. So it's like, 2 feet. I'm like right in front of them, or I'm right in front.
Not a lot of room to move around.
Not a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm getting set up for deadlift, and there's not enough 45s. So I have to go 2 racks over, right? And there's these 2 girls like doing like front squats inside the rack, not on the platform part where you do power cleans. So I go over to the rack next to them and grab 45s. I'm going back and forth. And like I catch eye contact. Like normally I'm just in my zone. I'm not paying attention to anybody. And like this chick's like, we both got the masks on. So she's like giving me like these crazy. I'm like, you looking at me, bitch? Like, what the fuck? So it finally, like, it's been like 10 seconds. I pull my headphones out. I'm like, what's up? And she's like, could you say excuse me when you walk behind us? It's fucking rude. And I was just like dumbfounded, and I was like, excuse me. It was just like the craziest thing ever. Like, I'm not even in your way. Like, what possesses you to act? And not only that, like, there was no other options.
And she's in the thing.
In the rack.
Yeah, in the rack.
Yeah.
What's she gonna do? Fall back into you? No, it's impossible. It's boxed
That's what I'm saying, dude. It was just like, I was like, okay. And not only that, like, I'm putting up some pretty good weight on this deadlift. I'm like, bitch, I'll snap you in half. She couldn't have weighed more than 80 pounds. But she was like some young little fucking, I don't know, dude. Maybe because my mask was hanging below my nose.
Yeah. Oh shit! Check this out. So, I go to, if you checked out our channel, you noticed that I did a.
Like, how rude is it though to meet somebody, talk to them about rudeness, and then be
extremely rude?
Extremely rude.
Yeah, dropping F-bombs. Yeah, I've gotten to a point where I just laugh that stuff off. You've known me for a long time.
That's why I was just like, excuse me then.
Yeah.
Could have just asked, I would have said it. But
you know me for a long time. I used to be the guy where I could not let any of that kind of stuff go.
Yeah, me
too. I was saying something no matter what. I would come back. You took it from a 1 to a 10. I'm taking it from a 10 to 100. You know what I mean? Like that's just how I used to be. But now it's just like, what are we doing here? You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing? Like, I was in a store. This was, I don't know.
Like, where does it go from here? Like, me and her trading insults to where, like, I got a sticker, dude. Like,
What's up? What's up? Yeah. I don't know what exactly. What did she want? She wanted you to get in a time machine and say sorry for something that you shouldn't say sorry for. Like,
walking behind her. I can understand if I was like creeping on him, but I wasn't at all.
Or if you bumped him or something.
Like, I didn't even notice she was looking at it. It took because I guess she looked at me the first time. I didn't notice it. And then it was just like a dead eye stare with the mask on. I'm like, this is
what's going on
here?
Yeah.
I didn't even think she was mad. I'm like, is this chick trying to fucking hook up or something? This is weird.
She's like, you're lifting a lot of weight over there, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, so if you watch our channel at all, you noticed our last video, I was opening some baseball cards. I've been getting back into the hobby, opening an eBay store, selling some cards online. But I was making the rounds, going to local card shops, picking up, trying to find stuff because it's for whatever reason the market for baseball and all sports cards is absolutely outrageous right now. But I was hopping through and I was trying to find boxes to open. So I was going to different spots, Targets, Walmarts, everything was sold out. Well, there's one that they sell at Dollar Tree. Sorry, Dollar Tree. And I hadn't stopped in any of those. And I was driving to another place. I saw a Dollar Tree. So I was like, I'll just pop in here real quick just to see if they have it. So I pop in and I walk in and I'm looking around or whatever. And I notice there's this huge argument going on. And it's customers arguing with an employee who's not wearing a mask. The employee's not wearing the mask. So they're making a big deal about it. There's also a huge sign out front that says no service without a mask, right? So that's what the lady's point was. She was like, there's these rules that we have to wear fucking masks in here, but you're not. Doesn't make any fucking sense. I should be able to take my mask off. And the lady's like, no, you've taken your mask off. I can't ring you up. She's like, you're not wearing a mask. Like, what are we doing? If you're not wearing a mask, I don't need to be wearing a mask. Yeah, exactly. So I was like, all right, I'm getting the fuck out of here. So I leave, right? And I do my business or whatever. And then later, I had to stop at Home Depot to get a garage door opener. So I go to Home Depot and I'm walking around, have my headphones in, and people, this guy walking by, he works there. He's staring at me weird. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm like, kind of like is there something on my shirt? I'm like, looking at him like, what? So he's following me. And he's like, I go to the garage door section and I'm like, this is getting like, do you think I'm going to steal something? Like, what the fuck? So I'm like, do I have like a hoodie? Like, is my hoodie look sketchy or something? I don't know. So I'm walking around, I'm like, is my phone like making noise? Like, is my, something? I don't know. I couldn't figure it out. So I get all the way to the front and then I get the garage door opener and I go to check out. And the lady's like, checks, pays it, whatever. She goes, hey, I'm going to do it this one time, but next time you come in, you need to wear a mask. I forgot my fucking mask in the car. Totally forgot. Didn't do it on purpose. Just totally forgot. So this guy was like giving me the stink eye and hunting me around the store. I didn't even know, like, and that's the thing that sucks now. If you don't wear the mask, it's like a political statement. You know what I mean? Like you're saying, like, I don't believe in the virus or something. It's like, no, I'm cool with wearing the mask wherever you need me to wear the mask. I'm fine with that. It doesn't bother me in the slightest. So the thing is, like, I was getting like, people assumed I was a bad guy because I wasn't wearing this mask. They were assuming that I was going to steal something or
go out and put on a ski mask and have a mask over it.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. You would think, right, in a normal situation, right? In a normal, completely normal situation before COVID, if I was wearing the mask, that's how I would have been treated, right? People would have been like, what's this guy up to with this mask? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So it's just so crazy.
The funny thing is in Thailand, before COVID, you see the mask all the time.
Of course, yeah.
The air is so bad.
Well, also just working, growing up, I worked at different Disney and Universal around that the touristy areas. You'd see a lot of Asian people on vacation that would just wear the mask because you probably do get sick from all the traveling, interacting with so many people. It probably is smart to wear the mask. So, but it's just funny. It's just so funny how I didn't realize. I totally forgot it in the car. I'd been running around all day. I just didn't grab it. Didn't even know I didn't have it on.
I cannot wait till we are done with the masks. Jesus Christ.
Like I said, that shit doesn't bother me that much.
I was going to come down to it and be like, yeah, so you're not wearing a mask. You got your papers? You got the vaccine passport?
You got to go in the COVID camps?
Yeah, dude. Yeah. You got your papers?
It's like, sir, you don't have your papers, but maybe your wife can do something to make us forget about that.
Yeah.
Like
you,
it's real crazy.
Can't get on this plane, but you can get on this train.
So a couple other things. Did you see real quick, because I don't want to touch on this too long. Did you see the shrimp and the Cinnamon Toast Crunch thing going on?
Yeah, they did a story on the Hill, Rising that I watch every day. Pretty disgusting. Yeah, and the craziest part was that, all right, so if you don't know, this guy opened his Cinnamon Toast Crunch. He's like a music producer. He opens his Cinnamon Toast Crunch. He ate a few a few bowls of it, and then later went to pour another bowl, and two shrimp, the tails of eaten shrimp, fall out of the Cinnamon Toast Crunch box. So he freaks out. He's like, what the fuck? I've been eating this already. And then he goes through and he looks and there's little like black spots like baked into the Cinnamon Toast Crunch. So he puts it on Twitter and then he reached out to Cinnamon Toast Crunch. They were like, oh, we need to see it for more information. They end up like trying to gaslight him. And they're like, oh, that's just melted sugar pieces or whatever. And he's like, no, it's not. It's shrimp tails, buddy. And it is. It's clearly like shrimp tails, right? And it has the cinnamon toast like glitter on it, so it's clearly like baked in, like it fell into their vat and then was baked in. So from the different people that are in the know on those like crustaceans and different things like that, they think that what happened was a rat was eating the shrimp, like got the shrimp from a garbage can or something and was eating it above the vat and it fell in when it was done, right? And then the little black spots were like rat turds. But it's just so crazy the way they were treating this guy like he was an insane person to even say that. And then the craziest thing was that it turns out this guy, his wife is Topanga from Boy Meets World. Oh, there you are. Yeah, somebody was calling me.
Oh, my bad. So his wife was Topanga from Boy Meets World, which is nuts to me. Like,
she's still hot or what?
I don't know. Let's check out Topanga Lawrence. I have no idea what her real name is.
God.
Another thing was she hot then? Or was it just because...
Definitely. Just because what?
I guess you're
official?
I mean, I guess she's still pretty hot, huh?
Jesus.
She might be hotter now. This is her back in the day. That was like a bunch of kids became men watching Boy Meets World.
Yeah. Yeah, you're like, I'll be a goody two shoes too if I can bag that.
Yeah, so that was pretty nuts. What would you do if you found something like that in your cereal or anything? Have you ever had an experience like that, or what would you do if you had an experience like that?
Yeah, I'm the type to just like, is it gonna kill me? Whatever.
Yeah,
I mean, I wouldn't keep eating it, but I'd just be like,
throw that bag out.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, my thing was just so crazy because Cinnamon Toast Crunch was like adamant, like, oh no, this is melted sugar. It's like that's not the right response. Just apologize.
Good name.
Exactly. Just say you're sorry and you don't know how it happened, and we'll send you some coupons. You know what I mean? Like, and keep it moving. Let's see. A couple other things. I've been watching Mad Men.
Yeah, again.
Until you sent text last night. Yeah, rewatching it. Totally forgot how they like treat women in that show. It's just so ridiculous.
So accurate.
It's just so funny how they treat them. And then one of the things is that one of the chicks, she wants a $5 raise. Yeah, having drinks at 2 p.m. in the office, chain smoking heaters, taking early lunches.
Hey, also the wealth and inequality gap was the lowest it's ever been too.
You know what's funny is in that show, one of the guys he makes he was talking about how he's getting a raise to $15 a week.
Yeah.
Like, whoa, baby. And they're like trying to buy a house. Another episode, this other couple's trying to buy a house, and he's like, "Baby, I make $2,000 a year. We can spend whatever we want." You know. Yeah, but then just the way they talk to women in that show is just hilarious. It's so funny. It's so
here
funny.
we go. Matt Gaetz getting investigated for maybe a relationship with a 17-year-old.
Well, there goes that. Yeah. What was that thing you sent me yesterday about Ghislaine Maxwell?
Oh, so they brought new charges against her. They expanded the time zone in 2004, and they charged her with child sex trafficking and something else. Anyways, like literally the headline was the article. Like you go into the ABC News, who got, they had the story a long time ago and didn't pursue it.
Yep.
You go in and the article is literally the headline. It's 2 sentences. And you're like,
what?
Wow, they're really covering this. And then you go to like any other article and it's like 2 pages, synopsis, summary, how we got here. All this shit. ABC News like, yeah, we're covering it, whatever. Like, okay.
So with those charges, do you think that means she talked? Or the opposite?
She obviously said something, or they found something to be able to charge her more. And expand.
This seems like a
the crazy thing is they expanded it from like 96 to 2004.
Mm-hmm.
And child sex trafficking, so it's like big catch-all.
So that would make it seem that she didn't talk.
She's supposed to go to trial, or my conspiracy theorist brain was like, or they're throwing these charges on, and then her lawyer's going to go, we need more time to prepare. The fucking court case gets kicked further down the line, and then she gets murdered after that. That's just what I was thinking.
I think it's a shocker that. I think that if she was going to get
I'll
murdered,
bet $1,000 this George Floyd's gonna it's all over TV. I fucking guarantee you that trial's not on TV.
Oh, for sure not. For sure not. I think that
that case, if it does go to trial and it is on, that's the OJ of our time.
You think?
Something. It's huge. I mean, nobody's even watching the Derek Chauvin thing. I mean, they kind of are, but not really. But
I think that guy is 100% going to jail.
Oh, for sure. There's no doubt in my mind.
Yeah. His was of all the, these
the Rittenhouse, I don't think he might get involved. I don't know if he gets anything.
That one's a little bit more tricky, but
to me, it's not tricky, dude. The dude chased him. He shot him. More people chased him. He shot them. It's just like, to me, it's pretty cut and dry. And that dude escaped a mental or just left a mental institution that day, which is even wilder.
Yeah, I don't know about that one, Chief. I'm not gonna sit here and defend him. But
I'm not defending him. I'm just telling you what
the law. Yeah, I don't know. The one that, but the George Floyd one, I think that should be an open shut. That dude's never getting out of jail, right? That's a murder.
Just show the video.
There you go.
Yeah. Rest our case. That's it.
Like of all the ones, these horrible police brutality videos that have come out, to me, the George Floyd one is clearly the most like police brutality.
You know some more video too, like in the opening statement, they showed some more of the video. And it was like, I didn't realize there was like another dude there. Like, he's like, yo, man, just act right and get in the car. And he's like, I will. And he's still just fucking leaning on him, dude. He's like, I'll act right. And then, yeah, this is history.
Yikes. Yeah, that one's a tough one to try to explain. Like, what's your defense in court?
Yeah, exactly. The Rittenhouse one is just, I don't even know if it's a gray area. If he was wasting more people, it'd be all right. But here's
the other thing, right? The Trayvon Martin one was another one where I was like, yeah, George Zimmerman's definitely going to jail. He's not even a cop, right? And he got out, or he got off rather.
That shit was crazy. Although I will say, his defense lawyer, that dude was
good. Yeah, Jose Baez or whatever.
The white dude too, the orange head fuck.
Yeah,
he was fucking. I mean, to me, it wasn't. He made it to where it wasn't obvious that he
murdered him.
He put a good case for it. It was impressive.
Sometimes that's all. Sometimes that's all you need.
Shit.
Yeah, and I mean he the fact he got off is nuts. And I mean, the fact that it was so close to the Casey Anthony thing, those were both in Florida, both like within a year of each other, is crazy.
That Casey Anthony one, there was like so much shit stacked against her.
Well, the thing with Casey Anthony, there was just no proof. It just looked like she did it. There's just no proof that she did it. Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's the thing. Me and you can say that, but like proving it in a court of law, it's difficult. There's no evidence. They found the body like during the trial, right? Wasn't it like way further down the road they found the body?
It's not even that, dude. It's just everything she told them was a lie. They couldn't prove that she did it, but everything around it she lied about. The babysitter, all kinds of shit.
What do you think happened with that?
She killed a kid. She was a party.
But what do you think happened? Like she just murdered the baby?
Yeah.
So from what I've read and listened to and seen, my best theory on it is, so she admitted that she would give the baby Xanax, to put her to sleep. And I think, very reckless, so that she could go out. I think she gave her a little too much one night, and the baby didn't wake up.
Start with the Benadryl, bud. Knocking an adult out.
Yeah, so I think she gave her a little too much one night, and the baby didn't wake up. The other theory was that the baby fell in the pool, and the dad covered it up. But man, that was so crazy in the trial because that was like their defense, is they like turned it on the dad. It was like, the dad was molesting Casey. It's like, well, what?
Hey, I mean, that's all you got to do is prove another option.
Yeah,
something else is plausible.
Yep. Oh, all right. You got anything else before we wrap up here?
Who you got on the Final Four?
So when I did my bracket, I did terrible, but my Final Four, I had Gonzaga, Michigan, Baylor, and Houston in 3 of my brackets. That was my Final Four, and I have Michigan beating Houston in the final.
Damn,
Houston, sorry. Michigan beating Baylor in the final, and then
bracket stuff, such bullshit. You get all these points and shit. It's like I got 4 more picks than the next person close to me, but if they win the championship,
you lose. Yeah, because it's who goes further. Who do you have as your winners? I have Michigan in 3 and Gonzaga in 1.
2 of them are totally zonked out, but I had Gonzaga, Michigan, Baylor, and Illinois. But
I had
Baylor. If Baylor loses, I win. I just need them to not get to the championship. Because if they get to the championship, there's a chance I could lose.
Yeah, I had The one I have Houston in the championship in one, and that's the one that Gonzaga wins.
That
And
game yesterday with Baylor was nuts. They were just stroking, dude.
Yeah.
Both of them.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. The other game's about to start right now, the Gonzaga game. So it'll be interesting to see how that shakes out for next weekend. Like I said, keep an eye on the channel. Probably going to do some more card openings. Probably going to do we're definitely going to do a live episode this week or next week where we just do the sex stories because there's some fucking good ones in there. We'll go from there. Any final thoughts before we skedaddle?
Yeah, nothing.
All right. Thank you guys for listening. If you're still listening or watching, subscribe to the channel on YouTube. It's 2 words, Scam Podcast. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Scam_podcast. Follow us on Twitch, Scam_podcast. And we'll be back. We'll keep you updated probably next week. See you.
Peace.